And welcome to Hannity. And tonight, in less than 3 days, Donald Trump will be sworn into office as the 47th president of our country. On Sunday, we will be at our nation's capital with a live show. We're going to kick off what will be a very busy, historic week on Monday because of dangerously cold temperatures. I mean, with the wind chill below zero, it's going to be really cold. Well, Donald Trump's inauguration will take place inside, making him the first president since Ronald Reagan to be sworn in at the Capitol Rotunda. I think a good call. Reagan's 1985 inauguration was also held inside because of extremely cold weather. Now, Donald Trump is expected to hit the ground running with a flurry of executive orders, other critical measures, but not before a little celebration. There will be musical performances. Carrie Underwood, America the Beautiful, Rascal Flatts, Jason Aldean, Kid Rock, Billy Ray Cyrus, the Village People, Lee Greenwood. They're all going to be there. And speaking of Billy Ray, he will also be performing at the Make America Great Again rally. That's on Sunday night. He will be with us in just a few minutes. We'll get a preview of that and why he felt so strongly about going to Butler, Pennsylvania after the assassination attempt. Now, there will also be dozens of business leaders in town. Well, Elon Musk will be there, Bezos will be there, Mark Zuckerberg will be there, Apple CEO Tim Cook will be there. Even Bill Gates seems excited about Donald Trump's presidency. He was, quote, impressed and intrigued after a recent dinner with the president-elect. Take a look.
Have you met with Donald Trump since the election?
Yeah, I had a chance to go have a long and actually quite intriguing dinner with him.
What did you discuss? What was intriguing?
Well, we touched on a lot of things. It was over 3 hours. To my surprise, it was, just he and I, his chief of staff, Susie Wiles, and the person who helps manage things for me, Larry Cohen. So the four of us sat there, and it was quite wide-ranging. I felt like he was, energized and, looking forward to helping to drive innovation. I was frankly impressed with how well he showed a lot of interest in the issues I brought up.
Oh, he's describing the guy that I've known for 30 years. Now, Donald Trump isn't just bringing together business leaders. For the first time, the Prime Minister of Italy, the President of Argentina, they will be attending the inauguration. China, meanwhile, they're sending their vice president after a recent phone call between Donald Trump and President Xi. And last, but certainly not least, all of this was made possible by all of you, each and every one of you. And again, I can't thank each and every one of you enough. This can be the most transformational presidency in 100 years. There will be thousands upon thousands of loyal Donald Trump supporters like you in D.C. celebrating what is a new day in America that would have been, would not have been possible without all of your hard work, your effort, your perseverance. And many of you watching tonight, you have stuck with Donald Trump through thick and thin, through trials, through witch hunts, through early morning raids, dishonest smear campaigns, 2 assassination attempts. Many of you were shunned, you were censored, you were harassed simply because of your deeply held political beliefs. But you hung in there, you did the right thing, you fought hard for what you believed in. And because of all of you, Donald Trump now has a mandate to return America to what I'm calling constitutional order. Imagine cutting $2 trillion in spending, and that would limit the size, the scope, the influence of government. That would be less bureaucracy. That would be greater freedom. What a concept, limited government. And for the first time, a majority of the American people, they are rooting for Donald Trump to succeed. Nearly 6 out of 10 Americans believe that he will do a good job as president. And meanwhile, the left is now more unpopular around the world than at any point since the fall of the Soviet Union. Freedom, meritocracy, individualism, logic, common sense, they are on the rise. Statism, redistribution, socialism, cradle to grave, womb to the tomb. It is dying a needed death. And here at home, the Democratic Party is in complete shambles. A source close to President Biden telling NBC News that Biden feels, quote, totally dejected, and the people around him as well. And insiders are saying that the Biden White House feels like a morgue. We have kind of been saying that in our own way for the past 4 years. A majority of the American people say that Biden, he's made the economy worse. They are right. He has. He's leaving office with a record low approval rating. Last night on MSDNC, Joe Biden does what he always does, takes responsibility for nothing, lashes out against red states, blaming conservatives for his poor job performance. Take a look.
I got a lot of criticism, understandably. We've invested more in red states than blue states.
That's in this book. That's in this report.
Well, for two reasons. One, red states really screwed up in terms of the way they handle their economy and the way they handle manufacturing, and the way they handle access to supply chains.
All right, that makes no sense at all whatsoever, but that's what we have come to expect from the leader of the Democratic Party. In fact, you probably won't see many highlights from Biden's final sit-down interview on any other network because, as per usual, it was nothing but a dumpster fire. You decide.
You've heard Barack get mad at me when I was a kid all the time. He said, I know, all politics is personal.
Yeah.
Well, it's about understanding what motivates the other guy, other woman, and what their interests are. That's different than me writing a check and me signing a check and saying, I did it. I'm not a very good huckster. And I didn't think it, by the way, I didn't think it was, I've got to go to Ukraine, but I think it was important.
It's clear, it's obvious. Americans on both sides of the aisle, Joe Biden is not fit to serve. He's not been fit for 4 years to serve. We told all of you this before the 2020 election. At the time, we were kind of excoriated for telling the truth. Over time, it became apparent to everybody. According to the New York Times, multiple Democratic senators were begging Joe not to run for a second term. That would include Chuck Schumer. All the while, Obama, behind the scenes, pulling the strings, along with Nancy Pelosi. And after all the election, all the big players in the Democratic Party, right now they're kind of all hating on each other. And historic loser Kamala Harris, apparently also not in good spirits. According to insiders, she is deeply sad. She feels betrayed by Joe Biden. I think she's the one involved in betraying him and is also at war with almost everyone in her own party. Ultimately, after years of hysteria, dishonesty, woke politics, eco-socialism, failure, the weaponization of government, this is what the Democrats, frankly, have earned, and this is what they deserve. I hope they can use this moment to fix what's broken in their own party. It would be nice to have a two-party system, but not a radical leftist system. One that would create a cradle-to-grave, womb-to-the-tomb, new Green Deal society with wide-open borders without any vetting that offers free taxpayer-funded sex change operations for illegal immigrants and convicts, and also gender-affirming care for children without parental consent. That is not in touch with Americans' values. The only Democrat at this point that seems somewhat reasonable today is Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania. It's going to be very interesting to watch him as the party moves forward. But again, really, it's a time of reflection, introspection, and a time on this show to say thanks to all of you, because in less than 3 days, because of your hard work, your dedication, you filtering out the lies of the legacy media, Donald Trump will be back in office, and America now has a golden opportunity to get back on track. Here with